Today, we'll be going over dashboard training. The goal of dashboard training is to give you the tools you need so you know how to do what you need to do, all the while maintaining our new database's integrity. To give you some background on Square, in February of 2020, we replaced our 15 to 18-year-old point of sale system with Square. Square is a great fit. It's not 100% fit, but it's a great fit for our needs. Square for Retail for multi-locations is new for Square and new for us. It is not a custom fit software, meaning we did not get to design it to fit our needs. But as we make suggestions as a large multi-location user, they take them into consideration to see if it's beneficial for all users. Sometimes the changes are made quickly and sometimes slower. It's a cloud-based system allowing us to access the dashboard from anywhere. Square for Retail, which we use in the store, and Square POS, we use in concessions and crafts, are both apps. So we get automatic updates, much like you would on your phone. That also means sometimes things glitch and you need to restart your system like you would on your phone. One of the great benefits of switching to Square is it has allowed us to streamline our systems and processes in all areas, store, concessions, and crafts, as well as from camp to camp. So if a summer staffer works at Crooked Creek and next goes to Timberwolf, they will know how to use the system as the setup and processes will be nearly the same. One of Square's strong suits is the reporting it gives us for all areas and locations. We can access it all through our dashboard on the Square website, meaning from anywhere with internet access. With reporting being digital, we are using less paper and having less manual errors. In phase 2 of Square, we are hopeful to link Lawson directly with Square, which would automate our processes even more. Square for Retail is the app we use in the store. We pay $60 a month per location for more in-depth inventory management and reporting. Square Point of Sale is a free app that we use for concessions in the snack bar and coffee shop, as well as crafts. We do not inventory those areas, so the need for more was not warranted, but it is all visible and connected all through the Square dashboard. The biggest takeaway today is to know that we are all swimming in the same pool, meaning you delete something, you delete it for everyone. You change a description or a photo, you change it for everyone. So our goal for training, don't pee in the pool. Let's keep it clean. All right, next, training. We are going to be going over these 5 points: items, purchase orders, reports, wild processes, and resources, so you know where to get help. I'm going to switch my screen over to Square. All right, everyone should have their own login for dashboard. Logins are permissions-based. Retail managers have full permissions. Specialist interns have permissions related to their roles and responsibilities, and cashiers have limited permissions. We want each person to have their own login with exception of cashiers, as that is a generic one to give out to weekend workers or summer staff. Home screen. This is what you're looking at right now. And currently I'm seeing Lost Canyon, and you will see that they show gross sales, transactions. They don't have any sales today. And then down here would show you your top items sales. It's just a little snapshot of what is going on at your location. So a little fun, quick look. On the left-hand side, you will see the home navigation buttons. We have the home screen, the items, reports, transactions, and teams are all the ones that you'll be using. The only thing down here below that you'll be using is gift cards, where you can check balance and order gift cards. We'll go over more in-depth gift cards when we get to processes, but here's where you can order them. First, we're going to start with items. Of all the things you learned today, this is what I want you to grasp the most. Because there are specific steps to creating an item and the ability to dirty up everyone's database is high, we ask that only retail managers are creating new items. First, we're going to start with the item library. Item library. All camps inventory listed here until you filter to your location to see only your database. So you see here it says all locations, and then I can deselect all locations and filter just to my database. Let's pretend I'm Crooked Creek here. Then over here to the right is a search bar where I can search by name, description, SKU, we don't use that, or vendor name. So if I wanted to look up my first 30 quiet times, I can start to type in my first and it'll pop up everything that says my first, which is only my first 30 quiet times. I can see here that it's in the book category. There's the SKU. It's currently only at Crooked Creek with 47 in stock. It's only at Crooked Creek because that's the location that I'm looking at here. And I can see the price, the cost, and the default vendor. Say I wanted to look up one of my vendors. I knew the vendor but not the items. So I look up rock, paper, and it'll filter down all the items that the vendor with rock, paper carries. And here they have friendship bracelet and WWJD. Or I can even look at all the categories that I want. So I'm just gonna be working on my snack bar dairy items. So I'm gonna filter just to be looking at only those items. Here you can see that. So again, when you are in all locations, you're looking at all Young Life's database. When you're looking at your location, you're viewing your inventory. It doesn't mean your changes only affect your location when you're in your location's view. It just is the view that you're looking at. To give you a tour of an item details, let's look at 15 minutes here in clothing. I can see that this is a clothing item, short sleeve. The vendor is Hands-On Originals. 8 locations carry this item, and these are the taxes for those locations. 15 minutes is the graphic name. All clothing items are listed by a graphic name, what is given by a vendor, so it will be the same from camp to camp. Colors and sizes are variations. You'll see this as variations, and down below are all the colors listed and their sizes. So seafoam small, yellow haze small, heather maroon small, and so forth. You can click on each variation and see which camp has stock in that item. So let's look at here at the seafoam extra large. We can go to manage stock, and then I can see that Frontier has 34 of them. And I can see that Timberwolf apparently had them, but they currently have 0 in stock. Now, here's a scenario. Let's say you just got in a new item to Crooked Creek, 70s font tee in white and bay from Be Unlimited, and you need to add it to Square. Now, just because it's new to Crooked Creek doesn't mean it's new to our database. So you need to investigate to decide if it's an existing item. If it is, if you need to add it just as a variation or add it as a new item completely. So first we scan the item. I'm just going to type in the SKU. And I see that 70s font in white pops up. So the item exists and I ordered it in white. So all I need to do, I can see that Windy Gap is the only one that carries it right now. All I need to do is add my location to the item, and I go to location, and I'm pretending to be Crooked Creek, and hit save. And then I need to add my taxes for Crooked Creek. And because I added the location, it will make the Crooked Creek taxes all available. I'm going to use tax added. In the store, tax added means that tax is added on top of the retail price. The tax included means it's included in the retail price, and we only use tax included in our concessions and crafts areas. So for store, it's always going to be a tax added item. And then I'm going to hit save. You also have to go down to variations and add your location under manage stock. So I apparently automatically did this, but that's not always the case. Crooked Creek tracking is turned on. If I want to sell this at a different price, I can choose here, add price override. And let's say I'm going to sell it at $14.99 and I choose my location. And that means anytime this item gets scanned in, the CL0194001 for Crooked Creek will scan with a $14.99 price. And I hit done. And you have to do that for every variation that you have. I'm gonna hit done. Oh, I need to change the price. Choose my location, Crooked Creek, and hit done. And I would do that for every single one here. All right, you also got this 70s font tee. I'm just gonna go ahead and hit save now. You also got the 70s font tee in Bay. And let's pretend that it didn't come with a SKU number. So now you need to search by graphic name. The item is 70s font. So I'm going to type in 70. And then it's going to pull up anything that says 70. So I can see if it's 70 with apostrophe S or 70 with an S. I don't know. So I'm just going to type in 70 and see. I see a 70s floral, 70s camp name youth. Oh, 70s font. So the item exists and it exists in white, but I ordered it also in Bay and I don't see Bay. So I only need to add a variation to this existing item of 70s font. So I'm going to click on the item. And again, I would add my location, which I've already done. And I'm going to also add my taxes. We'll verify here. There it is. And now I need to add the variation. So clothing items utilize this options to add new variations. It's basically a quick shortcut to add multiple lines. I have Bay in small through 2XL. So I'm going to just select color, edit, and now I can just type in Bay and hit done. It automatically creates Bay small through 2XL for me. So now I can select these, hit create, and then now I can select these new items and I can edit the price and the cost here all at once by selecting edit price. These ones are all going to be $14.99. And because I'm creating this, I don't need to do a price override. I'm creating it. I'm going to do edit unit cost, and my cost is $7.50. Oh, actually, sorry. These ones are going to be $6.50. And I'm going to add the vendor. The vendor is B Unlimited. I can hit B, and then when I type in B, it brings me up all the vendors that start the letter B. So I want to make sure to look through that first before I select Create New. So B Unlimited, and I'm going to apply to all 5 variations. So instead of going one by one, I can do it all at one time. Now for the SKUs, you will have to do those individually. Add the SKUs. And then the most important step is that so I'm creating Bay. I'm the first one to use Bay. I'm creating it new only for me. So the phrase is new only for you. So you're going to have to go and select, let me back up. When you have an item and there are multiple locations, locations automatically inherit all the variations of this item. So in order to keep the database clean for everyone, if I'm creating a new variation, it's new only for you, I need to go in and make sure that it's assigned only to me. So you select the variation, go to Manage Stock, and like I said, it automatically assigns it to every location. So I'm going to make it available at 0. And then I'm going to manually select my location and hit done. And you have to do this, unfortunately, for every single variation that's created. And you do need to check available and tracking, so it shows up in your database. You continue to do this for each one that you create. So now Windy Gap does not have it in their database as well. And then I'm going to hit save. So now I can go down here to 70s font, and I see that there's white now and bay. Bay is only at Crooked Creek. And then the two that Windy Gap has are available at 2 locations, both Crooked Creek and Windy Gap, but it will just say 2 locations or 3 locations if it's more than just one person. I can see the cost, the retail price, the cost, and all the vendors listed there. All right. You also received a 90s font tee in white from Clean Fun. You scanned it in and nothing. So now, just again, because you scan it in doesn't mean the item doesn't exist. You just need to look it up by graphic name as well. So I'm going to type in 90, same way I did 70s. And let's see what comes up. So I see 90s block, 90s classic embroidered short sleeve, 90s classic short sleeve again, and so forth, but no 90s font. So I can see that 90s font doesn't exist, and I need to create a new item. So I can do that when I create a purchase order, which is we will look at next. But first, I want to review. So I'm going to stop share. And take a look here at this workflow. This is something that I would recommend maybe printing off and having as a reference, or this is also located on our website in our training system. So this is when you get a new item in the system, you need to follow this little workflow. So you scan the item in. Is it in the system? If the answer is yes, then all you're going to do is add your location, tax info, and go to manage stock and make it available and turn your tracking on. Then you can create a purchase order. So you scan this new item in and it doesn't come up. So again, just because it doesn't come up when you scan it only means that the SKU doesn't exist. It doesn't mean that the item doesn't exist. It may just be that you need to add a variation, or it could mean that you do need to add a new item. So this is what we need to figure out. So you scan it in, it doesn't show up. So now I want to search for the item by graphic name, item name, or type even if you're looking at some convenience items. Is it in the system? If the answer is yes, if you find that item, much like we did the 70s, we found it, it just didn't have it in bay. So I just needed to add as a variation. And then once I've added the variation, I can now go and create a purchase order. So let's go back. I scan the item in, it doesn't ring up. Doesn't mean that the SKU, or it only means that the SKU doesn't exist. It doesn't mean that the item doesn't exist. So then I'm going to search for the item by graphic name, item name, or type. And is it in the system? If it still isn't in the system, if the answer is no, then I'm going to need to create a new item, and I can do that through the purchase order. All right, so let's take a look at purchase orders. All right, under inventory management, purchase orders, your view may be all locations, or you can filter it right here to be just your location. So I'm just going to look at Crooked Creek here, and I'm going to create a purchase order. Now, purchase orders are ideally created before you order to use to send your order to the vendor. Then you can track your orders that are incoming and process your orders once they're in. As the retail manager, you will be the one to create purchase orders, but then your specialist has access to them as well, so they can receive these purchase orders when they check in these items for you. So we created a new purchase order. Now we need to add vendor, our ship to location, and anything we expect. So I'm going to say our vendor was Be Unlimited. Be Unlimited. If it was a new vendor, this is where I would start typing in the new name and hit create new. And it would prompt you through setting that up. But I know this is Be Unlimited. Ship to is your location. So I'm coming to Crooked Creek. let's say I expect it to be here in a few weeks. I'm gonna hit 17th as my expected date, and you can add any notes here, there. And then under item, you're going to enter the items. So I had the 70s font tee. You can just type in, or you can scan it in, however, type in the SKU. So I'm gonna just add my 70s font. Let's say I just got the small and medium in white. And then I can also see down here is the bay ones that I created. So 70s font. Oh, wrong button there. Sorry. Medium. All right. And then I will add the quantity that I'm ordering. I'm just gonna, for ease, just add 24 to everything. My cost. So here's where you want to change cost for your location. We have a default cost on an item in item details, and that is the original cost of the item when it was entered into Square. It is not your cost. So if you purchase that item at a different cost, you enter that through the purchase order. It assigns that cost to your location, and if you change the cost in item details, it changes it for everyone. So if you have one order of shirts at $5 and the next order you get for $5.50, it will work on a first in, first out system. So whatever you have remaining will be at $5 and the new quantity will be at $5.50. You do not need to cost average the two. However, you will not see your cost on the item details. This is something that I've requested of Square as necessary for people. So this is something I hope to update you as we get updated on that. All right, so once I'm done, I can hit create. And then here is this is what you're going to be sending to the vendor. So I've created it. If you need to change your email, you can do that here. You can add any notes to the vendor. Please. There we go. And then I can select this if I want them to send me a copy. If not, you can keep it deselected. This is what the email will look like. This is the way that we would say is the best practice for submitting your orders to a vendor. This purchase order looks very professional. It's easy to track. And yeah, just looks really clean and neat. I'm gonna just write a test. If you want to go ahead and send it to this person, you would hit send here. You could even save it as a PDF for your files if you wanted, but you'll also have it here in Square. And then I'm gonna hit done. Now I can see that I have a pending status, pending purchase order for Be Unlimited in this amount. The cool thing about purchase orders is that if you make a mistake, you can, even after it's received, you can go back and edit it and it will fix it retroactively. So I'm gonna say that, oops, I need to hit edit order and say the cost was really $7.50 on these, not $6.50. And you'll see that it's adjusting my totals here on this purchase order. And if I said, oh, I only did 20 of those, it will adjust that as well. So I'm going to hit save. So again, I have a pending status of this purchase order. All right, so once you need to receive, you're just going to simply click on the purchase order and hit receive all if you're receiving all of them, if it's that simple. But if not, if you need to receive them individually, say some items were damaged, you're going to hit individually. You can hit receive. I'm going to hit save. If I only received, let's say I received 18 of them and 2 of them were damaged, so I'm going to hit save for 18, and then it will bring me one that has 2. I received 18 of them, and now I have 2 of these, and I can go here to these 3 dots, and I can say damage on delivery, 2 of them, and it will take it out of my total here. I know that I'm going to get credit for them. That's an easy way to do it. Let's just say on this one, I only received 22 of the 24 that I ordered. So on these 2, again, click these 3 little dots, I can just say that they're not going to be fulfilled. They're not sending me extras. I just got shorted. And again, it'll remove them from those ones that are my total here. And then I can also print labels from here. I don't have a printer hooked up, so let's just say this is it. And all you're going to do is hit create labels. It's pretty simple. All right, purchase order. I am going to go ahead and hit, actually, I'm not going to hit save because I don't want to do this to Cricket Creek, but you would hit save. All right. Next, we are going to put items on sale. So you're going to go over here to discounts. And this is all locations. So I'm just going to use Timberwolf as my example here because they've done a great job. So discounts include sale items and discounts. You'll see here there's Young Life staff discount, volunteer discount, use in summer only, or interdepartment camp transfer. And these are for all locations. That means all locations use these 3 discounts. Then we also see that this discounts that are specific to your location, you'll see that this says Timberwolf here. Timberwolf has a 20% off, a 30% off, and a 50% off. Your sale items are specific to your location. So our process is to start with 20% off and then we increase. And you can see here that their items are all under 30% off right now that they have on sale. And this means right here, it says Timberwolf 30%. Only at Timberwolf are these items on sale. So every time she rings up 15 minutes, it will be on sale for the amount that for 30% off. All right, let's create a new discount. I'm going to come over here and hit create discount, and I'm going to do headwear sale. And I'm going to put everything on sale at 25%. And again, we need to make sure that it's only for our location, not anybody else's. If we hit all locations, it means all the hats that I add here will be on sale for 25% at all locations, but we only want to work for our location. I'm going to go to automatic discount and item. And now I can add the headwear items that I want. So I can change the category to just show me clothing headwear. And then I can say it's this hat and this hat that is on sale. I hit done. And now I can see that the bike seamer and the coast hat, every time they get scanned, they will be 25% off. But I'm not really doing this. I'm going to accept this. All right. Next, we're going to review adding a modifier to a concessions item. So we're going to go to items and let's go to item beverages here. In concessions, items are generic. Modifiers are camp-specific details. For example, item is fountain soda with variations of 16 ounce, 20 ounce, 21 ounce, 24 ounce, 32 ounce. But a modifier would be like the flavors offered at that camp's location. Or for coffee shop, a latte item is A latte is the item, and then 16 ounce would be the variation. And modifiers would be like milk option, flavor options, whipped cream options offered by your camp. So again, modifiers are specific to location. You won't get someone else's modifiers at your location. You assign each modifier to each item for your location. So in order to create a modifier, we go here and select modifiers and create a modifier set. So I'm going to create a modifier. We ask that you always put in let's see, I'm going to do Crooked Creek test modifier. You always add your camp's 3 digits at the beginning. And now I'm going to add a modifier of flavor 1. If I needed to add 50 cents if they selected this flavor, I can do that here. Or if it's something that's you're just like saying what the options are, like the fountain sodas, you know, for flavors, you don't need to charge them more for their flavor. You're just using it as a descriptor. So I'm not going to charge them 2, but if I did, I could put in 50 cents there. All right, and then important step here, again, you want to only have these show up as a modifier for your location. Unfortunately, there's no deselect all here or a clear here. I don't know why. This is a request that I've made. So currently you have to manually deselect all, and you also want to deselect it at all future locations as well. And then you're going to hit save. So here we'll see CCR test modifier. Now we can go and add this modifier to an item. So let's say, go back to item library, and I'm still in snack bar beverage. Let's say this is something I'm going to add to the fountain soda. So I'm going to go on fountain soda. And then down here, you'll see all the modifier sets. Now we asked you to add your initials because these are all done in alphabetical order. So that way you can find all of your modifiers quickly and easily. So I did CCR test modifier. So I'm going to enable this one, and it says enable Crooked Creek Ranch. So it's only doing this modifier at Crooked Creek Ranch because I'm the only location that has this modifier. And then I'm going to hit save. And so this means anytime someone rings up a fountain soda, it'll pop up another screen with these modifiers. It says flavor 1, flavor 2, and they would select those flavors. I'm going to undo that. You'll see that they currently have a Crooked Creek fountain flavors already selected as their modifier. A pro tip about adding modifiers is that our beta testers said to do this in front of your snack bar register so that you can make sure each item has all the modifiers they need on the menu when you check out. Unfortunately, you just assign all the modifiers here in the dashboard, but you can only see them when you're actually looking at your register. All right, next we're going to look at reports. So you go back home to reports, and here's a listing of all the reports. Daily reports you will run, and there are monthly reports as well. Daily reports for each deposit is your cash drawer report, and this is done at the register when they close the drawer by counting the cash in the drawer at the end of every day, and it tells us that they are over short in cash, and this will match the this will match the cash amount that's being deposited. So here I can see it's still telling me to add a name for my modifier set. This will show my drawer report. I can see that this was opened and ended here. My starting cash was $210. I didn't have any cash sales. My expected amount in cash is still $210. if you had some sales, your expected amount would be more. There's also a setting for it to print a receipt after each door is closed. You can have your register people stick it in with your cash in the safe, or you can just access it right there and snip it or save a copy in your W drive. The other report that we do here is our custom report, and this is so store sales report. We're gonna change our filter to our location. Let's see if anyone's done one. All right, so we'll use Crooked Creek as an example. And this will show their sales summary, all the payment methods, and the category sales here. So I can see that they had both registers, store 1 and store 2 open. These were the sales there. And then they also had their coffee shop open. The payment methods is for bookkeepers. They can see how much cash, cards, gift cards, or other. Other would be like your internal transfers or interdepartment transfers there. Or and then gift cards would show up right here. All right, and the last one that you do each day is a transactions report. And this is a report that you do for internal transfers for bookkeepers to bill. And this one is actually you go to home and then transactions. And you're going to filter to payment methods other, and your camp location. I already have on Crooked Creek. And then this card number I can change to note. And I can type in IT. And I say IT is because it's important to train your register people 2 things with internal transfers. 1, remove tax, and then 2 is to type in IT and then a space and then area number. And that's so when you get to this part, you can just type in IT and it will filter and remove all the excess. There'll probably be a whole bunch of no sales in the summertime. I don't have that to show right now because they just did internal transfer. So, but I could hit put in IT and it will filter and show me only IT items. So then I'm going to change over to a different screen to show you. Here you're going to, the next step is to go to export and transactions CSV. And then it puts it all into an Excel document. So I'm going to switch my screen here to show you what that would look like. Here's, all right, so like we were just at, we went to share and then you changed it to other and no IT, and then you hit export. And then it's going to bring up an Excel document that looks a lot like this with a whole bunch of columns. And so you're going to narrow down the columns to show date, net sales, other tender, and then device name. The device name shows that this internal transfer was done in coffee, this one was done in store, and that's helpful for the bookkeeper to know where to place those internal transfers to. And then you would save that all in your W drive for your bookkeeper to access. So if you don't have any internal transfers that day, then obviously you will not have to run this report. But for any day that you do have internal transfer, this is the one that you will do. All right, I'm going to go back to Square dashboard. All right, and then you have some month-end reports that you're going to be working on. And under reports, they have inventory reports down here at the bottom. And one of those is the projected profit report. And it gives you the inventory value for your location. And so you're simply going to snip it and save it in the W drive. all you need, one, is change to your location. And then you can just snip. Go away. Hold on, I gotta deselect so it goes back to. Sometimes you have to let it run its filter on this and then select your location. All right, then it'll show me the value of just Crooked Creek. So I can see that Crooked Creek's inventory value is 122,771, and I'm just going to snip projected profit report and this right here, and then save that in the W drive. Now, this projected profit report does pull your cost based on what you entered in the purchase orders. So it does not pull from default cost. It pulls from the purchase orders that were changed any cost for your location. All right, the second monthly report is the cost of goods sold report, and the bookkeeper will run this, but I just want to show you so you can have this as a reference when you're verifying your R&Es at the end of the month. For the store, you'll want to remove the first 5 categories. So you go to all categories. They didn't sell anything other than this coffee one. Typically, if you were all open in the snack bar coffee shop, you would show all of the snack bar ones, and they are all going to be right up at the top because we put this little period before, so it shows it as the first 5 things at the top there. And that will allow us just to get an accurate cost of goods for only the store items. And then that's that. You'll see the total cost of goods sold, your revenue, your profit, and your profit margin should be in that 50%, and you're good. All right, next we're going to review some YL processes. I'm just going to go back to this homepage. P cards, we accept them at camp now. Yay. If it's greater than $250, they suggest we do an internal transfer instead. So in reality, internal transfers should start to get less and less. Transfers, there are 3 types of transfers that you could do. One is an internal transfer where you're charging a YL area for their purchases internally. And then the second is an inter-department transfer. These are camp departments charging purchases to their department. Both are done at the register and done the same way with IT and area number or department number to charge. Both get tax removed, and the internal transfer gets their staff discount of 20%, and the camp department gets the inter-department transfer discount of 50%. Another way you can do this with inter-department transfers is for them to use their P card as well. So you would run their items, still give them the inter-department discount, which is 50%. You're going to remove tax, and then you can charge their P card. The last transfer would be a camp-to-camp transfer, and these are all done from the dashboard. This is an inventory transfer from one location to another, which we will be doing a lot of this year in 2020, 2021, as we shop our shelves and shift our inventory around to help others reduce inventory. So let's say that Crooked Creek needs WWJD bracelets from Lost Canyon. Crooked Creek first needs to make sure their camp is a location on the item. So we're going to go to items and look up WWJD. Oh, I need to change my filter to all categories here. So it brings up WWJD bracelet. I'm going to make sure that my camp location is on. It is on at Crooked Creek. Just verify my taxes. Crooked Creek, added. Great. All right, if I was not on that, I would need to add my location and tax info and then select location available under manage stock and tracking. So to complete the transfer, the camp sending the inventory does everything else. So they're going to go over here to the right and go to actions and transfer stock. The source location is the sending camp. So in our example, Lost Canyon is the sending camp, and the destination is going to be Crooked Creek. And then we're going to add the item that we're sending. So I'm going to type in WWJD, and it's going to bring up the bracelet. And it shows me that the source, which is Lost Canyon, has 2009, and the destination has 1382. And I'm going to transfer 250 of them from Lost Canyon there. And then I would hit complete transfer, and it would automatically change the inventory value from Lost Canyon. It would subtract 250 and it would add 250 to Crooked Creek. Next, I would fill out the camp-to-camp transfer form, which is located in our Dropbox POS form camp-to-camp transfer. It has instructions on here as well. And then you're going to save and send it to your bookkeeper and ordering camp. And that basically just says, you know, the account numbers to credit and debit. All right, next process is gift cards. I'm going to X out of this, discard. All right, we sell gift cards through the store and concessions craft areas. Store cards are only good at the store. Concessions and crafts can be used at any of the concessions and crafts locations. Reason being is we have two different accounting systems. For the store, we're a 03 asset account, and in concessions, we're a 13, and it's a non-inventoried account. So we have to keep them separate. So because of this, we ask you to create two different looking cards stating specifically for the store or for the other retail areas. They are reusable, so you can order them from the dashboard under gift cards, and then once you have assigned them to someone and cleared it, then you can also, and you can keep it and reuse it. It's not one and done thing. So this is done, just to go you back here at the home and gift cards. And I could, if I wanted to search, see how much was left on a gift card, I could go to search and scan the card. You can also do this at the register, but it would show me how much is left on a card. And then I could, if I needed to order, I could just go to plastic gift cards and order cards here. Gift cards are sold, redeemed, and check status all through the register. We did set up a system with the office. If a parent calls in and wants to give their kid money, we can set up gift cards for them. They are sent a cognito form to fill out that charges their card. Retail managers will get an email with that information to set up card and gift card to the head leader to give to the kid. Those instructions are in the manual. You can reference when needed. All right, next is guest musician. When a guest musician comes, first, when they come to deliver items, we need to have them fill out a W-9 and get their address to mail the check to. And then we also want to let them know up front that all leftover items will be returned, that you're not going to be selling them at camp once they are gone, and arrange how you will get them their goods that weren't sold at the end of their time. So first you're going to go add items as a variation to a guest musician item. So I'm going to look up guest musician, and we have guest musician items already created. And then we do have some generic variations already set up as 1, 2, 3. The price is variable, and that means every time you scan one of these SKUs, it will ask you to type in the price. If the guest speaker comes or guest musician comes and they have their own barcodes, feel free to add that as a variation and keep it simple. The cost will always be 0, and then the retail is based on what the guest musician needs to make. We take 5% from the top to cover our credit card fees and whatnot. So make sure that they are aware of that and that the price reflects what they need to make minus the 5%. So at the end of this day, the retail manager is going to run an item sales report. So I'm going to go over to reports and I can see item sales here. And then I can filter for guest musician items. I don't have any to show you as an example, but I can filter by an item, and then under this all item, I can then find guest musician, and it won't show because I don't have any for sale, but if I had some that sold, it would pop up. And then it will just list guest musician and how many items were sold there. So I would print 2 copies, one for the guest musician and one for bookkeeper. And I can right click print. This is a cool feature. I can just hit right click and hit print. You can do this anywhere through Square really, anytime you're trying to print, and it gives a nice picture of the report. And then I can hit save as PDF, hit save. And then on reports under total, so at the bottom here under total, I would write in less the 5% amount and then make a grand total so that they know what they can expect from their check. And the office will issue a consignee a check for that amount. So consignment is done in the same way, except for we retain 30% profit. And so instead of minus 5%, you would do minus 30% under the total. And then just like guest musicians, under items, we have a consignment item already created. So here you can see that there are already some variations under consignment. Because these items don't happen very often, both guest musician and consignment, I would always refer to your retail manual for the process. All right, the next thing is adding a team member. So we're gonna go back up to home and team. And here you'll see all of the retail team, and you also see those team members we created that says cashier. And that should have one for each camp location. So first, let's say I got a new intern. I'm going to hit create team member. So I'm going to add intern person. And then I would add their email address. I'll use mine as an example. And this sends them an invite to their email where they will accept the invite from Young Life. I'm going to hit save. And then I come over here and continue setup. And I'm going to add in the title of intern. You don't have to do anything else. And then I'm going to finish up permissions. And these are already pre-made. So I'm going to select the one that says specialist intern. Specialist and intern have the same permissions. And the, permissions set are based on title. So retail managers get all locations and everyone else gets a camp specific location. So I am at Crooked Creek. I'm going to hit save. So now this intern can see only Crooked Creek items and they can't mess up anyone else's. And then you create them a passcode. And we do have a system for passcodes. This will also be in your manual, but cashiers are your camp locations 2-digit number. So like, let's say I was 5,300. So I would be, the cashier would be 5300. For retail managers, we use the camp number. So 5303. Specialists would be 5313. And then interns would be follow after that, like 5323, 5333, and so forth. Again, that's all in the manual for you to reference. I'm going to undo that. All right. Lastly, I don't know if it's lastly. Next, we're going to do damage out inventory. So when you damage out inventory, this is inventory that you're not reselling. Items that are damaged can't be resold. So if one is being returned, when at the register, when it's being returned, you can change the reason to be damaged. Then throw it away. If it's damaged on the floor, say you're cleaning and a mug breaks, then you're gonna go to items and find the item. So let's say, I'm gonna find a mug here. All right, this little coffee mug. Let's spell this right, coffee mug. So this one was damaged. I'm going to go to edit variation, details here. I'm going to go to manage stock. Well, bad example. Apparently it's not available at any locations. I'm going to make this available. Okay. Edit variation details, manage stock. So then I go to Crooked Creek and I'm going to go damage and it'll say remove stock. So I'm going to remove one from my stock. If I had stock to begin with, it should say let's say I had 10. Now I'm going to subtract 1 and then I'll have 9 left. So it will take it out of inventory. So once you've done this process, you're removing it from inventory stock, then throw it away. This is something that's best to do monthly in the school season and then weekly in the summer. At the end of the month, the bookkeepers will run a history report for damaged items to remove from inventory. So if this is a damaged item, but you're going to sell it as is, like you got a t-shirt in and it has a hole in the armpit, you're getting credited for that, but you could sell it at cost. So you just mark the price down on the tag in red, and then you adjust the price at the register. So you do not want to put it on sale through the register, or all of those items will be marked down, not just that one. All right, now lastly, let me share my screen here to a different. All right, resources. Where to go when you need help. First, the retail website. On the retail website, we have our Square manuals. We have training videos. We also have, in that training videos, I added a YL processes PowerPoint that Kathleen had made. It is just a really great, has a whole bunch of workflows similar to the new item or variation workflow that I showed you earlier. It's just a great resource that shows everything from your retail manager's steps to the bookkeeper steps to the to the end. So it's a great flow. Then we have categories and options guide. So when you're creating new items and you need to know what category to use or what options to use, this is a great reference sheet. We also have the SKU sheet that we update every year with pre-buys and group buys, so you can find out what SKUs were assigned by national. And then we also have the YL barcodes available. So if you have to create your own barcode, the item comes in and it doesn't have a barcode, then you go to our retail website and look at the YL barcodes that are available. And the one that is below anything highlighted in yellow would be the first one for you to use. Then if you're unsure of how to do something, just Google it. Google is a great resource. How to add a new item into Square. You have a lot of resources for that, but as an example, you could type that in and it would give you videos and documents on how to do that. Then help within the retail department. Your resources first would be to contact the National Retail Specialist and then the National Retail Director. If it's an internet connectivity issue, that we need you to contact your camp's PC tech. The apps all run, the Square is all run on apps. And so in order for them to work, they have to have internet connectivity. So that would be something that you would contact your camp's PC about. And then if nothing else is working, we will reference you to call Square support. And this is their phone number. And then this is an ID when they ask, actually, I think they call it a customer number or token ID. You would type this number in and that just routes you to Square for retail specific people. And then their support team is available 24/7 and we don't incur any charges for calling them. But I will say that the best support I've received are most knowledgeable people I've talked to happen to be there during the day hours. Whew, that was a lot to take in. So as this sets in, feel free to contact us with any questions. And then at the end of our training, we do send out a little Square assessment for you to fill out. And that's just to verify learning and see where you may need some more training. So you'll be receiving that here shortly after you watch this video. And if you can have that completed here by the end of next week, that would be great. Again, if you're ever unsure, if you're doing something right, you're just not sure what steps to take in Square, please reach out. Again, when we're in Square, we are playing in the same pool. So we want to keep our pool clean and appreciate all the help in doing that.